I think for me, an artist residency is so special. It is so magical to have the opportunity to bring artists all together in a place where all we show up with is our materials that we've previously prepared. I think one of the biggest surprises for me was just how fruitful this residency was.
The way we developed the piece was really to think of it as a kind of kit of parts of various elements that all derive from the text. So you have the various music elements in two idioms, both the acoustic and the electronic, various graphic elements from the videography, and then typographic design that is taken directly from the text. And we wanted to make the point that we are not trying to make a biographical work. We're trying to make something that is universal and that speaks to the everyday experience of a romantic relationship. There's been a lot of creative back and forth and discussion about various parts of the piece, and really, it's been really exhilarating because everyone on the team is such a brilliant creative in their own right.
We talked a lot about whether we use the actual music or use actual Cage audio of him talking, and I was never totally sure. But throughout the process of this week, I'm finding myself thinking, oh, this was the right choice. Even the fact that Matthew Rickett's fantastic music that he wrote for this piece, I debated whether or not there should be, for instance, more prepared piano. Like, should we reference that? I think it's really an interesting choice to actually just have music and not have it be a nod to a style. I find that really powerful, and as I've been playing and listening to the music this week, being like, I think that's actually really special.
When I was tasked with writing a piece that in some ways is about Cage, I had to kind of confront whether my music should sound like Cage, should deal with Cagean techniques. And we sort of decided as a team early on that we wouldn't quote any of the pieces that he's talking about. As a composer, I feel also like I was involved in shaping things beyond just the music. That we were all sort of working together across our various languages and medias to create this larger project.
When I first heard just the MIDI versions of the compositions that Matthew did, and I started thinking about the things that I was going to come up with, I wasn't sure how there was going to be an overlap with them stylistically or thematically or just for the overall goals of the piece. And it wasn't until I started working on things and started coming up with different cues and just different portions of what it was eventually going to become my contribution to the project that it started to become elucidated, and I started to kind of see the grander contours of the project.
A lot of this project was created sort of in separate parts and then sort of combined or just letting things happen together, which is a very Cage Cunningham idea where it's not the music is mimetic of something and the dance is responding to that and things are very locked in sync in a sort of classical balletic way.
It was a bit like a trance operation in a way to see the happy accidents, when you layer some of the typographic design on top of video and then see that relative to dance and hear the music. But also, we're exploring all of the different ways that the letters can be expressed. So whether it's a voiceover, someone reading a letter, typography, a letter translated into video, these are all different ways that the text itself can become theatrical material.
I used some software that will simulate physics, and you can introduce a shape and scale it up in the middle of a body of text, and it'll kind of push all the letters outward. With so many elements on stage, I was thinking a lot about where are people's attention going to go. If there's a moving body, you're going to look at that. But then when a sentence appears, when text starts to appear, you just start reading. So in order to allow the words to behave more like choreography, I randomized the order that the words appear in and let the associations between the words wash over you. And that creates another kind of poem within the poem.
The other part of a residency that makes it really special is that the dancers really connect. They access parts of themselves. They bring parts of themselves to rehearsal that you don't always see when you're rehearsing in the city. I thought that we were gonna come here and have about 30 minutes of work to present for the work in process, and we ended up with 52 minutes. The role a residency plays in that is that everyone's in the same room together, and we find our way to these conclusions, these artistic conclusions together.
People talk about breaking bread together. We broke bread together in this residency with the different parts of the creative team. And it's a way of building community, building trust, and having space and time for those conversations.
I'm proud of the beginning of this work. I'm proud of Love Letters, Cage to Cunningham, and I'm very excited to see where it goes next.